All right. Shalom, shalom. Call HALALYAM law. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone to teach you move well. Peace and salutations be to the elect. Brother Retitled, I'm coming at you from the Prophets in Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. All right, today's lesson is going to be on the pagan holiday Easter, so-called. And the reason we want to touch on this is because they changed the name. Biden passed a bill changing the name of Easter to, it says, Biden renames Easter Sunday as Transgender Day of Visibility. So now it's a day to visualize transgenders, man, to let transgenders be known. Instead of it being about JC being risen up again on the third day, you know, now it's about making known transgenderism, man. You know, glorifying transgenders instead of JC, you know, which is a pagan holiday at the end of the day. So I'm gonna grab some scriptures on that first and foremost, and then we're gonna touch on this article with the bill he passed. The scripture says, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1, Hear ye the word which the Lord YAHAWASHI speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Okay, this word is being spoken into the house of Israel, so Yasharallah. All right, when Moses went up in the mount, you know, and the Lord was supping with him and giving him the commandments for Israel. Okay, it was only Israel waiting on him at the bottom of the mount for those, you know, for those commandments to come back down, man. The whole world wasn't down there, and the commandments was read out, man. All right, it was only Israel, so the Lord is speaking these words concerning the Israelites. And the whole book is about Israel, man. Whole time, all these prophets are, damn. Spirits are out, boy. Yeah, he just crashed into that building over there. Let's see if I can get it. You're on camera, buddy. They pulling out now. It's a hit and run. I'm out like I didn't see nothing. It ain't my business anyway. Probably that Jabberwocky got to his head. He got distracted. But as it reads, it says, Thus saith the Lord YAHAWASHI, learn not the way of the heathen. So these are the ways of the heathen, man. You know, pagan Easter holiday, that's a pagan holiday. It was after it was celebrated, okay, after the pagan god Ishtar, okay, which is now translated to Easter. All right, but it says, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. So the signs of heaven are what? The sun, the moon, the stars. The scriptures say that, you know, the Lord says He's put these things up there and bound them by a perpetual decree, that they should do service unto men, you know. So these are the signs. These hang in the sky as the signs, and they when you have something like an eclipse, a solar eclipse, like we're about to have on April 8th, that's a sign, you know. That's the sign. That's a sign to us. It's a message. Okay. These things are like our clock and our calendar. These signs of heavens, man. But the heathen have begun to worship them and make days after them, make weeks and months after them. Okay. Full moons nights they'll sacrifice, and on new moon nights they'll sacrifice to their wicked pagan gods, man. You know, so it says, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. So we just brought out, the heathen are dismayed at the signs of heaven. They're looking at the signs of heaven like, oh, it's a wondrous thing, we got to worship it. But it's the thing that the Lord created to give service unto us. You know, it's actually servants of mankind, man. You know, whether you believe it or not, you know. That's our time. It's like our natural clock, okay? And our natural signs tell us the times of the earth, like the times of the world we're in, like the solar eclipse. That's telling you what? Something's getting ready to happen, something big, man. You know, be prepared. You know, get right with the Lord. YAHAWASHI. Blood red moons, all these things, man. You know, these are signs warning you about something's to come. These ain't gods or something that you're supposed to be worshiping. These are creations by the Creator. Just as we are creations by the Creator, so is the signs of heaven. But the heathen have made pagan holidays out of these things, man. They call them holidays because it comes from the original term high holy days, man. You know, and now they call it holidays, but they're really just holidays because they're pagan ceremonial feasts, man. You know, the holiday is really just like a feast. It's a ceremonial feast, or a high holy day will be like a ceremonial feast, or it'll be a day of fasting, or a feast of unleavened bread. Okay, and you know that's majority what it is. But these pagan so-called holidays, these devils get drunk, and a bunch of grown men have sexual relations with each other. They sacrifice children. They eat and kill children, drinking children's blood. Okay, and they sacrifice into their pagan gods, man. So this is not days of the Lord YAHAWASHI. These are days for the heathen and their Greek gods. And today just happens to be for the Greek god Ishtar, man. All right, let me grab Ishtar, show you where she comes from. It says, Ishtar, she is the goddess of love and sexuality and thus fertility. That's why they have the rabbit with the bunny. I'm just like it, the rabbit with the eggs, which rabbits and eggs have nothing to do, because rabbits and eggs have nothing to do with fertility, man. They have nothing to do with each other, man. You know, rabbits don't lay eggs. Rabbits are mammals. Okay, so they give birth just like humans give birth, man. Okay, they don't lay eggs. Ducks lay fucking eggs. Chickens and hens, they lay eggs. Rabbits don't lay eggs. Okay, so that their so-called holiday doesn't even make sense. It says, as the goddess of war, she is often, it says, she is responsible for all life, quote unquote, but she is never a mother goddess. As the goddess of war, she is often shown winged and bearing arms. Her third aspect is celestial. She is the planet Venus, the morning and evening star. Okay, so you're saying she's a morning and evening star. You're saying she's a planet Venus. Well, these devils don't really know much, man. Okay, you can't take their word for it, because the scriptures say that Job 14:5, the Lord has appointed their bounds that they cannot pass, man. Okay, they can't go in outer space and observe to see there's a planet called Venus. They can't send objects in the outer, you know, it's called the outer deep, you know, to see, to observe and take pictures of moons and planets. They're talking about Jupiter got 3 moons and shit. Hey, man, and these are all the signs of heaven that they're talking about. Okay, so they're zooming in on stars, on lights of the heavens, and calling it planets, and naming it after planets and shit. A lot of them be chariots the whole time, man. You know, you see them moving. Okay, but hey, we can't really touch too much. Scriptures say, without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge that thou hast not. Roughly paraphrasing. So you can't see it. You're gonna want to know what it is. You're gonna want to know what it looks like. You're gonna want to shed light on it. And this devil is trying to be God by shedding light on the things that you just don't know, saying that he knows them, man. You know, when he can't know them, man. You know. It says the morning and evening star. You know, when Yahawashi was born, a star appeared above him, man. You know. Okay, and that wasn't fucking Venus. It wasn't fucking Jupiter. All right, but these heathens have taken it and made made it to be something worship, a heathen worship. They worship Mary, okay. Yahawashi's biological mother. They worshiping Mary, man. Okay, as a god. Okay, they worshiping. Today was supposed to be a day of worship of Ishtar. Okay, but now they've changed it, and a lot of people believe it's the worship of JC, which is, you know, they say that's the Messiah. Okay, but they're supposed to be representing the Messiah being risen up on the 3rd day, you know, because we had Christmas, okay, which was supposed to be the birth of the Messiah, so-called. Really, it's the birth of Nimrod, man, okay, and Nimrod was a real person. They idolized this man, you know, and made him a god, and then 3 months later, which is supposed to represent the 3 days, you got Easter, which is for Ishtar, you know, which was supposed to be representing the rising of the Messiah, which is not. It's not true, man. You know, Yahawashi was not born in winter. He was born in the spring, around Passover time. Okay, and now they're talking about him being risen up again. Well, you had even Caitlyn Jenner. That's a transgender. But even this nigga was upset about this devil changing the so-called day, Easter day, into a transgender visibility day, man. You know, and he can do that. He has the power to do that because they made up fucking Easter anyways. They made up the day of Easter anyways, man. So now they just put in whatever name they want to put on it. You know, and the people are mad with him. Let's see. Easter. Let's look up Easter exposed. Easter exposed, what God says. It says the world to come. This is what the article is, or the website is called. It says hundreds of millions observe Easter in honor of JC's resurrection, but is this biblical? Discover what the Bible does and does not teach about this holiday. Do not assume you know. Okay, and this is they're just recommending a book, so they ain't really saying much on it. That's all they had to say about that, and then they advertise this book. I guess you got to buy the book to know more about it. Okay. Easter exposed. Pagan holiday. It says, why don't Christians, this is on Quora, you know, this is what people, you know, like regular people write on. Why don't Christians just realize that Easter is just a pagan festival taken over by Christians, which was a festival thousands of years before Christianity to celebrate the arrival of spring? It says, that's a bunch of dogma too. The answer there was a question and then there's answers to it, but the answers ain't it, man. It says most Christians consider Easter to be a sacred and joyous celebration of Christ's resurrection. But what about the claim that Easter and its accompanying traditions originated from a pagan spring celebration? All right. It says, for centuries, the church fought to turn people from paganism. Therefore, it is unlikely that one of the most important Christian holidays would be named after a pagan god. More importantly, there is no evidence aside from Bede of a goddess named Easter, nor is there evidence for Germanic goddess of Ostara. The name Easter is only used in English, and it's cognate Austrian and German. Yeah, but Ishtar was a, I was a Greek god. It wasn't an English god, and her name was translated to English to be Easter. Okay, so a lot of these people don't really know what they're talking about according to these days, man. But there's proof of. Right here it says ancient origins. The ancient pagan origins of Easter. Easter is a festival and holiday celebrated by millions of people around the world who honor the resurrection of JC from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred 3 days after his crucifixion at Calvary. It is also the day that children excitedly wait for the Easter bunny to arrive and deliver their treats of chocolate eggs. And this lesson was inspired today because I woke up, I came outside, and my neighbors were doing Easter egg hunts in the yard, man. Slovakia. My neighbors are doing Easter egg hunts in the yard. So I'm like, man, shit, today's Easter, ain't it? You know? You also get on your phone the notifications talking about Happy Easter and shit. And they celebrated around Passover time each year because they're trying to say it was, the time the Lord was risen up a few days later, because what happened after it was the Lord was put to death on Passover, and 3 days later he was risen up, and those that died in him were risen up as well. And now they're saying that they made that day to be Easter. And back then you had the Romans, man. That was in the time of the Romans. All right? So, Esau had a hand in everything. He's got the receipts. He's got the history. Okay, and today he's got everybody worshiping Easter. grab a scripture real quick. We don't want to go too long without bringing out the scriptures. Then we're going to get back to the article. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse... well, this is continuing from Jeremiah 10 and 2. So we'll grab verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. All right, so they'll cut a tree out of the forest and worship it, and that's what they did 3 months ago for Christmas in December, man. Cut a tree out of the fucking forest, and now they don't even use genuine trees anymore. They use fake trees and buy them from Walmart or some shit. Back rolling. Got it in the cool. SALUTATIONS, my phone overheated here in the sun. I'm gonna do it over here in the shade. I got my phone in the shade. It should be straight. So we're gonna get back into it. It says, for the customs of the people are vain. So their customs are vain, man. You know, the traditions of men. We'll grab that too, traditions of men. The customs of the people are vain, for one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. So they cut a tree out of the forest for Christmas. And they'll set it up, deck it with silver and gold, and, you know, and they'll worship it. And they'll put gifts under it. So what you do when you worship a God is you bring gifts and offerings. And what they're doing when they do that is bringing gifts and offerings to Nimrod, man. You know, and to the tree. You know, they're worshiping the tree. Full well, grab this. It's the book of Mark, chapter 7 and verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of YAHAWASHI, that ye may keep your own tradition. So Jacob was rejecting the commandment of YAHAWASHI so that they can keep their own traditions. All right, and the traditions of the heathen too, man. You know, because Jacob took after their father. The scriptures say, ye of your father the devil, the lust of your father you will do. So it was a lust for Esau to create these pagan holidays called Easter, Christmas, Halloween, okay? So they can do wickedness on these days, man. And then now it's a lust for Jake to do it because scriptures say, you of your father the devil, the lust of your father you will do. You know, he was a murderer, a liar, and now you got Jake being these things. It says, full well you reject the commandment of YAHAWASHI, that you may keep your own tradition. Let's grab this. Back in the article. So it says, Easter as a celebration of the goddess of spring. A related perspective is that rather than being a representation of the story of Ishtar, Easter was originally a celebration of Eoster, goddess of spring, otherwise known as Ostara, Astra, and Easter. One of the most revered aspects of Ostara for both ancient and modern observers is a spirit of renewal, celebrated at spring equinox on March 21st. So it's a spring equinox. And let's grab it. It says a solar equinox is a moment in time when the sun crosses the Earth's equator, which is to say appears directly above the equator. Okay, so that's another, there you go, another worshiping of the signs of heaven. Shalom, brother Abar. YAHAWASHI, QADASH, RAWCHAA. The water for tuning in, King. And so it says, equinox. A solar equinox is a moment in time when the sun crosses the Earth's equator, which is to say appears directly above the equator. All right, so that was a day that they were worshiping how the sun is crossing the equator, man, of Earth. That's another sign of heaven that they're worshiping, man. You know? That's why the scriptures say, like we just brought out, Marvel not at the signs of heaven, for the heathen do marvel at these things, man. You know? Let's grab this. In the book of Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. So, right there, it tells you, thou shalt have no other gods before the Lord, YAHAWASHI. And what you're doing on this day is putting a God before the Lord, YAHAWASHI. If you worship anything else other than YAHAWASHI, that's you putting that God before. You're worshiping that as a God, first and foremost, and you're putting it before YAHAWASHI. That's why when people have birthdays, it's known in the Satanism as the most wicked day, or the wicked holiday, wicked day of celebration, because birthday is when you're idolizing oneself. When you're idolizing yourself, man. Okay, so a person begins to worship himself. You got people bringing him gifts. Okay, these people bringing gifts and saying, "Oh, happy birthday, congratulations!" And it's just because of the day he was born on that day, you know. And they act like a god was born, man. It's just a normal man. Nigga probably wicked. And you bringing him gifts and offerings, saying happy birthday, and you know, blessing him and shit, you know. But guess what? The Lord say what? You gonna pay for that shit, man. So if you celebrate birthdays, you worshiping a man on earth, and if you celebrate your own birthday, you worshiping yourself. The Lord gonna get your ass for that, man. Shit ain't no joke, you know. It says, "Salaki, this sun hitting. I want to bring the camera back, son. In the shade. I'm gonna just project my voice higher." This is the book of Psalms, chapter 135 and verse 15. The idols of the heathen are silver and gold, the work of man's hands. So the things they worship are the work of man's hands. They make statues and molten images, graven images of the god Ishtar and the god Nimrod, and all these pagan and false gods and their idols that they worship. They make images to them, man. You know, even Caesar Borgia, they made an image for him, a painting, and they put it over the face of the Lord. Scripture say they covered the faces of the judges thereof, man. You know. I'm gonna come in closer. It says, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 37, and we'll start at verse 18. Of a truth, Lord YAHAWASHI, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all the nations in their countries, and have cast their gods into the fire, for they were no gods. Okay, it says, but the work of man's hands, wood and stone, therefore they have destroyed them. Okay, so these aren't really gods, man. They're the works of man's hands that you're worshiping, wood and stone. Now let's get into the, you know, we're gonna touch bases on the pagan day Easter, because today is a pagan so-called holiday, man, and you ain't supposed to be worshiping the day. If you're worshiping the day, you're going off, you know. It says, binary names Easter Sunday Transgender Day of Visibility. And now it says here, it says a proclamation on Transgender Day of Visibility 2024. And you had people complaining because Easter was, they say Easter was supposed to be done in April and it's done in March. You know, people were having, throwing fits about that. And you got Caitlyn Jenner, that's a transgender. Okay, this day is supposed to be for him, okay, who claims to be a woman and dresses like a woman, acts and speaks like a woman. Okay, you got this day was supposed to be a visibility day for him, glorifying him and people like him. And even he said, man, that's wrong. You got the fucking wicked twisted niggas head. They twisted in their head, and even they know that shit's off, man. That's just wicked, man. You know, it's supposed to be a day that was supposed to represent the Messiah. But this is how wicked the devil is, that he put a day about transgenderism on it, man. I'm pretty sure nobody even asked for that shit, you know? These niggas sitting in high offices and voting on these things, man. You know? And Biden ain't doing it. That's an old man. He's that man is, shit, Sluck, give me 1 second. That's an old man. That man is feeble. Okay? That man is senile. You know, that's the word. He's senile. This guy can't even remember his past 3 fucking footsteps. And you thinking that he passing all these wicked ass bills? No, man, he can't even form a sentence. All right. So there's wicked powers at play here, man. It says, on Transgender Day of Visibility, we honor the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans and reaffirm our nation's commitment to forming a more perfect union where all people are created equal and treated equally throughout their lives. So they're so gung-ho about people being treated equally, even the fucking wicked. You know, they're extolling the wicked to the heavens, and these people ain't done shit, man. These people ain't done shit for the Lord. They ain't done nothing righteous. These motherfuckers ain't built no... They haven't even done anything for America in itself, man. The motherfuckers be in their room one day and just say, oh shit, I want to do this. And then go outside and protest about it, and the devil makes it happen because it's wicked, and it's a part of his agenda, man. You know? So, motherfuckers ain't building no cities, no towns, no buildings. No, man, they ain't doing shit but being wicked and doing whatever the hell their lust carries them to do. But this day is supposed to be created to be equality for everybody, but ain't no equality for Jake. Jake's still crying about reparations for slavery. America gave everybody reparations but Jake, you know? But they want to talk about equality, whine and hiss and moan about equality, man. But when have you been equal to Jake? You still consider them 3/5 of a man. The Jake man to be considered 3/5 of a man in their constitution, man. You know? But they talk about cry and whine about equality, man. It's not about equality. It's about their wicked ass agenda, man. It says, I am proud that my administration has stood for justice from the start, working to ensure that the LGBTQI plus, I didn't even know they added an I into it. I don't even know what the fuck that is even representing. Community can live openly in safety with dignity and respect. I am proud to have anointed transgender leaders to my administration. So they got transgender leaders on the voters board, man, and the Senate seats, okay, and the council. All right, they allow transgenders in there, man. You know, it says, I am proud to have appointed transgender leaders to my administration and to have ended the ban on transgender Americans serving openly in our military. Okay, so now they're allowing transgenders to serve openly in the military, man. Before when you had to go to the military, you had to get your hair cut, you had to show yourself to be a man, you had to be manly. They tell you, drop it, give me 50. You ain't gonna see no transgender bitch ass nigga drop it and give 50. Okay, I seen a meme video the other day actually, where it was talking about the transition of the military from the 1900s till now. You know, and you had in the 1990s, it was all about being manly. Okay, drop and give me 50, and these men they were manly, man. Okay, they handled man's business. Okay, they stood on business. They said, yes, sir. You know, they got down and gave 50. They were like soldiers. They were real soldiers. In 2000s, you had niggas just arguing back with the drill sergeant. And now in 2024, okay, it was showing you how the drill sergeant was too afraid to make an offense towards this nigga, man. You know, and he can do whatever he want, you know. And that's what we're living in now. It's a time of bitch-made Americans, man. Esau. That's what he made the world to be so sensitive and sensitized. And hey, the scriptures say, woe to the world for offenses. You know, for offenses must come. You know, you got to be thick-skinned in this thing, man. If you're getting offended by anything, you're a woman. Some women do that shit. A woman be sad because you just fucking looked at them wrong. You looked at them awkward, or you didn't say I love you when you came home or some shit, and the woman be fucking sad the rest of the day. And that's what America is allowing men to do now, man. You know, is to be bitch made, man. You know? And it says here, I am proud to have signed historic executive orders. Historic, man, this is going to go down in history. Executive orders that strengthen civil rights, protections in housing, employment, healthcare, education, the justice system, and more. I am proud to have signed the Respect for Marriage Act into law, ensuring that every American can marry the person they love. Okay, so transgenders can marry, you know. You don't even have to tell them that you're a fucking man or not. You know, that shit's sick, man. It says, Transgender Americans are part of the fabric of our nation, and that's why this nation must be taken down, because it's a part of their fabric, you know? It's a part of their being. It's a part of their moralities. It's a part of their world order, okay? Their agenda. Whether serving their communities or in the military, raising families or running businesses, these are motherfuckers that need to be in a mental home. They're talking about putting them in business, in charge of businesses, raising families, running businesses. Okay, it says they help America thrive. They deserve and are entitled to the same rights and freedoms as every other American. You got a Planet Fitness, actually. They got a rule now to where transgender, so-called transgender men can go in the woman's changing room, man. You know? And they had something come out to where they found a man, quote-unquote, masturbating in the woman's room. The lady, she told about it, and she got her membership removed because she was complaining about men coming into the woman's room. They found this man masturbating in there, man. You know, and that made her really uncomfortable, okay? Because at the end of the day, that's a man. That's not a woman. That will never be a woman. And it made her really uncomfortable, okay? And now, guess what? She got her membership removed, or revoked, man, from Planet Fitness because of that. You know, because Planet Fitness is trying to keep the traditions and follow the same traditions as America. That's what make them keep getting advertised. If they don't, guess what? They're going to get criticized, and they're going to lose business. They're going to lose money. That's how America works, man. That's why you can't desire to run a business here. You can't desire to be something big here. You'll never be something big. You're going to have to betray your morals and your integrity. You're going to have to cast away your bowels for that shit. You're going to have to betray the Lord to be something in America, man. That's just not it. It says, including, it says, they deserve and are entitled to the same rights and freedoms as every other American, including the most fundamental freedom to be their true selves. But extremists are proposing hundreds of hateful laws that target and terrify transgender children and their families, because there's no such thing as transgender children, man. Okay? That's their parents pushing that shit onto them. Scriptures say, matter of fact, I'll grab it. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 6, it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. You train up a child the way he's supposed to be when he becomes an adult. When he becomes an adult, he ain't going to depart from that way. You train a child to be a murderer as all his youth, you're going to grow up to be a fucking murderer. You train a child to be a businessman, you can grow up to be a businessman. Many of these boxers are boxers, these professional boxers. They're boxers because their fathers were boxers, and they trained them to be boxers as they were youth. You know, many of these football players are football players, professional football players, because their dads were football players. And they trained them to be in football. And they put them in football from a youth up. And all their life they were in football. And that wasn't their fucking decision. The dad put them in this. You can play football, nigga. You can represent me when you gonna play football. You know, because you train a child the way you want him to be when he gets older, man. And that's how he's gonna be. That's why we have laws, statutes, and commandments, because we're supposed to give it to our children. And that way, our time will be prolonged in the land, man. You know, but Jake is fucking being wicked, man. And now the kids learn to be wicked. That means the generation to follow is going to be wicked. And wickedness is going to get worse and worse until the Lord eventually kicked us off the fucking land. We're going to be there no more. We would have destroyed ourselves, man. You know, and it's the same thing with Esau Edom. That's what he's doing now. Now you see his kingdom crashing and his kingdom collapsing because he can't hold you know, wickedness ain't going to stand forever, man. He can't hold his kingdom up no more. But extremists are proposing hundreds of hateful laws that target and terrify transgender children and their families, silencing teachers, because teachers are teaching children to be what the fuck they want to be, to put on dresses. It was what's going on over there, boy? It was a situation, an article, in a news article. There was a time that a man came to the school, and he saw his child, and he saw his son in a dress, man. And he told the teacher, he said, I already said I didn't want my son, you know, following under that curriculum. And you did it anyways against my will. You know, next time I come, it ain't gonna be mere words we talking with. It's gonna be a lot more forcible, man. You know, because you got Esau Edom pushing this agenda on your kids. Many of these parents ain't even doing it. This Esau Edom in the fucking curriculum, the school board, okay, pushing this shit onto the children, man. You know, and they don't want that. It says, silencing teachers, banning books, and even threatening parents, doctors, and nurses were prisoned for helping parents get care for their children. These bills attack our most basic American values, the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to make your own health care decisions, and even the right to raise your own child. That's bullshit. Because when we posting up about the truth and the scriptures, we being ourselves. And we get censored. We get our videos taken down, our accounts deleted. So what the fuck are they talking about here? You got a freedom to be yourself. We ain't got a freedom to be ourselves. You know, you want to put make laws and bills towards extolling these fucking wicked niggas to the heavens, man. And call it freedom to be yourself, man. But you don't give us the freedom to be ourselves. When you're telling the truth. It's no surprise that the bullying and discrimination that transgender Americans face is worsening our nation's mental health crisis. No, your mental health crisis is worsening with the allowing these fucking flamers to be what they want to be, man, and do what they want to do. That's all I'm gonna really grab on that. I don't want to make this too long. If you want to finish reading that, it's a whole bill on it. It says a proclamation on Transgender Day of Visibility 2024. Just type that in. Presidential Actions Briefing Room. Type that in, and you'll find the whole fucking sheet, man. All right. But this is what they did for so-called transgenders. Let me grab one more scripture. I'll close out with that, man. This is the world we live in. And you wonder why things are going to go the way it's going to go. Things are going to be burnt up to a crisp because look at America today, man. In the book of Exodus chapter 23 and verse 2, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Okay, and if the multitude's doing it, it's most likely evil, because the scriptures say the remnant shall be saved, man. The elect, very few. The scriptures say this world is for many, but the world to come for few. Okay, many are called, few are chosen. All right, so if you're following after the multitude doing the same shit as they doing, guess what? You're gonna be in the same judgment that they getting, and it's not a good one, man. You know, that's fire. Their end is fire and worms. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Okay, so there you go, man. Don't be the commoner. Don't be the extra in the movie. Don't be just like everybody else, following the wave. You remember, they had the multitude that was shouting, put YAHAWASHI to death, just because they seen everybody else doing it. They ain't do it because they had valid reason. They did it because they heard somebody say, "We want YAHAWASHI, put YAHAWASHI down." And then somebody else said, "Oh shit, I guess that's what we're here for." And niggas didn't even know what they were doing there. And they all just started shouting the same thing, and that's how YAHAWASHI got put to death, because they followed after the multitude to do evil. A lot of these people, again, the majority of the crowd voted for YAHAWASHI rather than Barabbas, which was an actual criminal and a murderer. YAHAWASHI, who was innocent, didn't do anything. You know, the multitude was like, "Hey, get him, get him." And it all started with 1 or 2 people, and then it became the multitude, you know? So don't fall after that shit, man. This is just wickedness. You think you're doing the right thing. You think you're fighting for freedom, and you think you got a country. You don't have a country, Jake. This is not your country. This is not your country. You have no laws. You have no rights. You have no freedom. This is not it. You're under a delusion, a strong delusion at that. And if you keep living in that life in the darkness, the only light you're going to see is fire. All right, so with that, I truly hope this lesson was edifying to you. I came not wild for listening to truly sincerity. So next to me, I give all glory, honor, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. So like it. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Until next time, we do say shalom.